for the Sultan Sass podcast, when we share our love for the wonderful world of board games with you, whether you are a gaming veteran or just starting your tabletop journey. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Mandi.
And welcome to episode 7. Woo! We're a little bit late. Thanks, everybody, for your patience. We're trying really hard to be really consistent about our timing, but we were at PAX Unplugged, and that ate up a ton of time in the best possible way, of course.
I almost said Essen there, by the way. When you said PAX, I was like, no, we were at Essen. Oh, nope, it's PAX.
Nope, wrong one. Wrong one. Definitely the wrong one. That's okay. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, PAX Unplugged is a pretty large board game convention that is organized by PAX, Penny Arcade, right? And so PAX is really well known for their video game conventions. But a few years ago, they decided they needed to do a board game convention as well, and they called it PAX Unplugged. It's hosted right now in Philadelphia, and I've gone, I think, 3-4 times, Mandy. I can't even count. I don't know. I missed one. I missed the first year, but I've been to everyone since then. Okay. How about you?
Yeah, I think I've gone to them all except for 2, like during the kind of COVID period there, and then they had one just after. I decided not to go to that one. Yeah, so I missed 2, but back on track now.
That might be, time, COVID. Blah.
I know, right?
But we're back. We're back home, and we were even going to try to record at PAX, but things were banana pants out there. Oh my gosh, you get there, and you see people you know, and you see all the games, and you're running around Philadelphia, and all of a sudden, whoosh, time flew by. So here we are back home, and Mandy, I don't know, you drove, right?
Yeah, we drove. So it took us about 7-ish hours because we did have some stops and stuff. So, and with my knee situation, I had to get up and stretch every so often.
Yeah, Mandy, what's up with that?
So, yeah, I decided, I really got to, continue with my exercise and pushed myself a little too hard on the spin bike. And we don't know officially yet, but there was a problem with my meniscus. So I've been wearing a knee brace. My knee hurts quite a bit, and I'm just waiting for an MRI to confirm if it's a full tear or if I did something else to it. So, yeah, that was a thing.
Perfect timing for a place that you like. If you look online and you see on social media anybody in groups or whatever talking about their experiences at game conventions, one of the things you'll consistently see is people talking about how many steps they get in, how much they walk, right? Because these things are huge and you're going all over the place walking. But Mandy, that would be really bad for your knee, eh?
Yeah, first day, I hobbled around and I think I got like 10,000 steps in. Let me tell you, I was paying for it that night. It was so painful. So I was like, no, we're gonna get a little scooter beep beep little situation happening, and there are stories there. But yes, I was speeding around the hall. Oh yeah,
it was highly amusing to watch. That's all I'm gonna say right now about that. Meanwhile, of course, I live on the other side of the country in Seattle and Philadelphia, so I flew. Mandy, my flight home got delayed by like 5 hours.
Oh,
I got home at like 3 a.m. I am super tired today, so I'm going to do my best.
We appreciate it. We appreciate you sticking it out. That's awful because there's already the time difference for you, so having to worry about
makes it so much worse. Exactly.
Good on you. Ooh.
Yeah. So, this episode, we're going to keep it pretty PAX focused, actually, and keep it pretty tight. Because, we thought it might be fun for y'all to hear about our experiences. We are getting the Board Game Geek Guild started up. And so we'll post this episode release. And then I hope y'all will share your experiences there as well, because the show is large enough and we were busy enough. Mandy, I don't know about you. I know I missed things. I know I did. I know there are things that I just didn't get to see, didn't get around to, and I'd love to hear what other people looked at, demoed, picked up, etc.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I definitely, even though I was scooching, I'm pretty sure I missed a few things.
I think scooching and scooting are actually 2 different activities, Mandy.
Well, I guess I'm scooting and scooching because I'd scoot and I'd be like, can you scooch over so I can see my scooter?
Oh, no. Wow. Okay. Scooching, I feel like you're like,
beep, beep.
Jerking. Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of beeping.
Yeah.
Around you. So, Mandy, where do you want to kick it off?
Well, okay. I thought we were going to do like a whole general experience of PAX, but I can wait. I just wanted to say overall, one of my favorite conventions. It was bigger this time around. I thought the hall was bigger because I hadn't been for a while, so I thought that was really nice. The flooring was new. I don't know if they always had flooring. Maybe they did, and I just didn't remember. Instead of carpet, maybe they always had the flooring.
No, it's always just been the cement convention floor,
okay.
right?
It just threw me off. But I did my learn and play, which I do every time I go to PAX. So that was really fun. I taught challengers and My Little Pony, and we had a great audience. So we did something a little simpler, something a little more complex. So depending on your family, you could try those. So a lot of fun. And it was great to see a family that went to my very first one and have gone to every single one. So seeing the little boy that was there initially to now, like, I was like, oh my gosh, he's grown so much.
I love that.
That was really cool to see. And just getting to see everybody, the candy exchange, that went well. I'm very excited because I got my condensada crackers. So these are crackers, I believe they're from the Philippines. So thank you to Ruel for bringing that. And a huge thank you to John for bringing me Fields of Arle in exchange for some Canadian treats.
Wow.
I know. And it was in shrink too. So
Mandy, you finally got it. Yes. That's awesome. Fields of Arle is one of the best games ever.
I know you really like it. So,
for you.
So I'm hoping John enjoys all the Nanaimo bars and all the cheesies and all the other things. That went his way. Yes.
Break. Okay, because I got to say something right now to you, Mandy.
Uh-oh.
So Mandy, did this candy exchange and brought down all these treats for people. And I didn't do it. I mean, Mandy and I see each other plenty. So, it's their thing. No big deal. But Mandy, you brought something called butter tarts.
Yes.
And I took some because how am I not going to? And oh my gosh.
Did you have one?
They're so good. How have I not known these? I mean, they're like mini pecan pies, basically.
Well, now let's because I know my people from the community are gonna, say, whoa,
are they gonna jump on me like I've made already like an international faux pas?
Because I didn't talk. So butter tarts, yes, they're through Canada, and please, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I know they're very big in Quebec, and they might even originate from the Quebec region. So someone please correct me if I'm incorrect in that. And there are different types of butter tarts. And I tell you, some people get really salty when they're like, no, it's this way or this way. I personally like my butter tarts either with the nuts like pecans or just the butter, like the filling. Occasionally, people like raisins in it. So they'll put like raisins and nuts. That's not for me. Raisins are lovely. Don't like them cooked in my stuff. So just putting it out there because I know someone's going to be like, all right, those aren't real butter tarts.
I got a poll idea for when I post this to BGG, we're putting a poll in because I got to know because I am pro raisins in baked goods. I love raisins in baked goods.
I like raisins.
So we're going to have to do a Team Mandy, Team Suze thing here on raisins. I just got to say.
Oh, and people get really particular about their butter tarts up here. So just saying. But
I have learned something new about you, Canada. I always love these conversations.
And Nanaimo bars, which are more Vancouver, west of Canada. That originates. I personally find Nanaimo bars really sweet. I do like the coconutty taste, but I think the last time I had a Nanaimo bar, I was a kid. So when people ask for them, it's strange to me because I find them so sweet, and I have a sweet tooth. So I don't know.
Well, that was really nice of you, and thank you. And now every time you visit me or I visit you, I'm gonna like make a stink about getting butter tarts because those are amazing.
Absolutely. So that was like the big hype was like the foods and meeting up with everybody. That's it, really. I mean, I did come home with some games, so thank you to a lot of the publishers who provided me with some lovely review copies that I will be talking about on the podcast with Suzanne. So overall, really good. What about you, Suzanne? I know you were a busy bee.
Right. So I go in a slightly different capacity, right? Because I work with Restoration Games. So I was there to support the booth and support kind of some meetings and marketing and things like that. And it was great. We had all new stuff in the booth, and it's just really energizing to see people be excited about something that you've put out into the world. And that was wonderful. PAX Unplugged, I think it's my favorite U.S. convention, Mandy.
Oh, me too. 100%. 100%.
It's got the perfect balance between having lots to see and buy and also having lots of play space as well. So actually there's what they call the LFG zone, which is looking for gamers. And so that's a big zone where it's set up. And literally, it's just if you need another player, if you went solo or if you miss, a game plays best at 3 and you need a third or whatever, you can go there and put your sign up. And then that's a place where you can find players to join you. There's a huge free play area. There's tons of demo spaces. There's huge tournament areas. All of these there's a paint and take. All of these are areas really designed to encourage people to engage with the games there, which is not the same at Gen Con, I feel like.
Right.
Different conventions dedicate different spaces and lay out differently, and I think PAX Unplugged does a really great job of balancing all the things to see and buy with areas for you to actually play the games and have fun. There's a great first look area that they put a lot of attention and focus into. They have a great board game library where you can just borrow board games to try. And all of that was really, really great. I say that as a person who barely got any games played at the convention because we were so busy. But I think they do a really good job. And, I even was talking to a person online. They were talking about how this was going to be their first convention. And that can be a little nerve-wracking. It is fairly big. Mm-hmm. And going alone and you're not sure what you're going to encounter and things like that. And, following up with them, it sounds like they had a good time. And because of all these systems and structures in place, I think it's if you want to go to a larger con, if you don't want to keep it small and local, which is often a great way to do a first con, I think that PAX Unplugged was a great one. So I had a wonderful time overall. There are little things you can pick on, like there was 2 other conventions in the same conference center, so there were some issues with doors, like what doors you were allowed to use and stuff like that. But overall, it was an absolutely fabulous time from my perspective, for sure.
That's so good, and I'm glad to hear that. I mean, we're gonna I'll talk about it a bit later, just because it refers to you're the expert kind of part. But because I was in the scooter, there were some accessibility challenges for me. And I know I spoke to a few other people who potentially, were in the scooters or had a cane or something that they needed to aid them in their walking and whatnot. And so it was really interesting to get the different perspectives of how they were able to navigate the convention. So I can save that for after you're the expert, if that's a better time to discuss.
Sure, whatever.
All right. Well, I just thought, of course, we're a gaming podcast, so I thought I'd throw a fun little game in here. I mentioned it to Suzanne, and she honestly looked a little scared. But I thought it'd be fun to do like a little word association with a PAX theme. Okay? So each of us will take turns saying a word or short phrase, and the other person has to say a word that comes to mind when they hear it. So please feel free to play along if something comes to your mind, or if you're just like, what is happening right now? So, for example, I could say board game shelves, and Suzanne in turn could say shame. And then maybe give us a little explanation why shame comes to mind.
Oh boy. All right, let's give it a whirl. I'm terrified, but let's give it a whirl.
Okay, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
What the heck? No, this was your idea. You go first. How dare?
Okay, let's go with, oh gosh, no, I had to erase this one. This one was a little too much. Yeah, okay, very funny. All right, scooter.
Beeping. Okay, so Mandy's in this scooter, right? But it doesn't, oh my gosh. Seeing Mandy roll around, and hey, I want to make it very clear. I am not insulting or mocking people who use accessibility tools like that scooter, and it was a lifesaver for you, I assume.
Oh, Mandy. It really was. So listen, very grateful.
You specifically, like as you're trying to learn how to do it, and you're herky jerky and all this other, and then you got nervous backing up, and so of course all of her associates and friends that are there decide to support her. So whenever we're around her, we would all, whenever she'd go, I gotta back up, and then we would all make it beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, it was a thing, everybody. It was a thing.
It didn't embarrass you at all, right, Mandy?
No, absolutely not. Actually, people found it rather amusing, but I must say it was effective.
It was. All right, if that's easy. Okay, no problem. We got this on lock. All right, my first word for you, Mandy, is snack.
Snack?
We just talked about it.
Oh, no. I have a different word for that. Hungry.
Nope.
And the reason why I say that is because do you know how many times I didn't eat? And I know you didn't eat during the day.
Yeah.
So the word snack would come up, or I had snacks in my bag. I just never got to it. You never got to it. So it was always like, I'm so hungry. So come like 8 o'clock, you're just like jamming whatever is available in your face when you very well could have eaten all day. So note to everybody, please eat and drink water while you're in convention.
In fact, there is this like unwritten rule called the 621 rule of attending a convention. And the 621 stands for get 6 hours of sleep, eat at least 2 meals, and take a shower every day. 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, and 1 shower. You got to do it. 621 at a convention. And that rule exists because many of us are very bad at fulfilling at least one of those categories. So,
Absolutely. Okay, the next one. Sorry, I'm laughing. Fit to print.
layout. I don't know. I mean, we got to demo Fit to Print with Floodgate Games. Peter McPherson, the designer, demoed it, and this is a real-time game where you're flipping tiles that represent newspaper articles and putting them on a board. And oh my gosh, I mean, I knew I was gonna like it because I'd already read the rules and we talked about actually on a previous podcast. But doing the demo, it was
how did you do there,
hard.
Suzanne?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
This is how this episode's gonna go, Mandy. Are we gonna start doing the call out episode? Because if you want to start doing the call out episode, Mandy, I'm gonna start calling you out.
Bring it.
Yeah, I lost. I wasn't good at it. I took too many articles. I was too ambitious for my page.
I was
lost.
surprised. I was very surprised. I for sure thought you were just gonna like crush it.
No.
And I'm like, what's going on over there? I mean, the fact that I was doing better than you says it all. That's not great.
But I had a good time losing. That's how you know it's a good game.
That is the important thing. Okay, we'll just do a couple more and then all right, so
how about for you cards?
Cards. Ooh, I gotta think about this one for a minute. Oh, Astra. So yes. So I know it kind of threw you off probably for a little bit, but there's a game, and it'll come up later in the podcast, but I played called Astra, and the cards are so pretty. It has like all the kind of astrological signs and everything on it, and they're like the tarot size. So that's instantly what came to mind. I just remember walking by the booth so many times. I'm like, okay, I just need to try this game because it's so good. So not a funny story, but so pretty. So I just had to throw that one out there. Okay.
One more?
Yeah, I'll do one more. Oh gosh, I gotta make this one a good one now. Okay, so I got one more. Jeez, okay. Oh, I had a really good one, but I think I might have to save that for next time. But let's do Friends.
I don't even know what to say to that. Selfies.
Yeah, you do a lot of selfies. I never take pictures at convention. I don't. I actually didn't take any.
Just lots of folks, right? You want to commemorate the time that, because you make friends, especially in our world, right? You'll make friends because we meet online. Like Mandy, you and I first met each other online, right?
Absolutely.
And then you go to these conventions and you have an opportunity to see people that you may have only talked to on BGG forums or on social media, and you get to see them and you take a selfie. So I guess that's what I was. If I had said friends to you, what would your word have been? What would your response have been?
It would have been new experiences and new people, because I ended up spending time with a lot of people that I hadn't spent a lot of time with. So it was really great, like doing things off the floor, like playing Nintendo Switch and talking about some video game stuff, but also talking about board game stuff and just getting to meet up with tons of people that I had seen, but actually never spent a lot of quality time with. And as usual, missing a lot of people that, we're going to meet up. Yeah, let's meet up. Let's play a game. And then it never happened.
Yeah, that never happens. It's so banana pants.
Yeah. So that's it. So I think we just wanted to do something a little silly fun. But if you went, or maybe you just want to play along, I'd be curious to hear what your associations are to the words that we presented. So this is something you could put in the forum if you're interested. I know I'm going to go and read them. So please ensure to make them nice and hilarious. I mean, you don't have to.
No pressure.
No pressure.
All right. Before we maybe talk about a game that we've recently played, Mandy, I know that I have a crowdfunding campaign that I'm really, really excited about. So why don't we talk about a couple of those real fast?
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Okay, crowdfunding. Yes. we were at PAX, but of course, we always have time to, spend more money online.
Always time to back more projects.
Right? But this one that I'm talking about is one that was actually on my looking forward to games at Essen. And I didn't realize at the time it actually hadn't been printed yet, but it came to, it's on GameFound actually right now. It's called Arabella, and it is an 18xx roll and write. I know what you're thinking. What? And this is by 2d6.ee Games. I'm not familiar with this publisher. I don't know if you are, Suzanne.
Nope.
But they're new to me. So yes, as I said, it ends on January 10th, 2023, because I think it's up for about 34 days or so. But it's an 18xx roll and write for 1 to 4 players. There you go. You can play it solo. And it's set in Estonia. So when I first read that, I was like, okay, because the box literally has this cute little kitten playing with the trains. And I'm like, where's this cat? I want more of the kitty in the game. So I hope that actually happens. And of course, the goal is to collect victory points. I mean, that's the goal of most games. But like 18xx games, trains are obviously going to be important. Shares, dividends. So all of the things that you see in a normal 18xx game are going to be present here, just presented in a slightly more, probably I would say, accessible way for those who maybe are potentially a little intimidated by those 18xx games. This might be like a little petite foray into that to see if you like it. So I'm actually really excited for this because I did, as I said before, enjoy my 18xx experience. So now I'm very curious to see how well it is implemented with the theme of an 18xx game.
Yeah. So. No, as soon as you pointed it out to me, Mandy, bless you, Mandy, messaged me right away and said, hey, have you seen this? And I was so excited. And of course, I immediately pledged my money to it. So I'm very excited. Great choice, Mandy.
There you go. Arabella.
And for me, I wanted to highlight Gin Crafters. This is on Kickstarter. I think it ends December 21st. So depending on where you're listening to this podcast, hopefully you have time to go and check it out. Gin Crafters is from one of my all-time favorite Japanese publishers, Jugami. Now, I say they're my favorite Japanese publisher, but then I'm not 100% sure I'm pronouncing their publisher name correctly. So my deepest apologies if I'm not pronouncing it. So it's Jugame. And they tend to produce, and I've gone over the years to some effort to import their games from Japan. They tend to produce rules-wise, they're pretty straightforward, which makes them very approachable.
Yeah.
And they are always, always beautifully, beautifully produced and just have the most gorgeous illustrations and graphic design and really fun themes to it. So I have one that's all about a journey in a Japanese area, or you will get ones that are about running a hotel and things like that. So very fun themes, beautiful production, beautiful illustrations, and a really approachable gameplay. So here we have Gin Crafters. Hello, it's a game about making gin. Mandy, I've seen games about wine. I don't know that I've ever seen a game specifically about gin.
I'm all about the gin. Sipping on gin and juice. Laid back. Got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Okay, I'm old and I know people will know this.
I knew that one.
You did? What? Sorry, continue. My apologies.
It ascended into the pop culture echelon.
All right.
So Gin Crafters really leans into the botanicals that you put into gin to flavor it. It's all card-based, and so you've got recipe cards, and you're going to get ingredients, and for botanicals, you're going to fulfill them. Different botanicals have special abilities that you can do, and you're just trying to process and make all these different gins and score points as you go. So again, pretty straightforward, but go and check this project out. The graphic design and the illustrations are just absolutely gorgeous on it. And I love that I've never seen a game about making gin before and here. So I'm in, I'm backing it. Ends December 21st, plays 2 to 4 players. 30 to 45 minute gameplay, right? So not too heavy, not too light. And I think just a base game is probably about $35 US, depending on exchange rates and all that good stuff. So Gin Crafters on Kickstarter, check it out.
I backed this one, and I'm just letting you know, all you Canadians out there, and I don't know if anyone has the same rate of exchange. Without the expansion and the shipping, you're looking at about $100 Canadian minimum. No, it's very expensive. The shipping alone for us.
Oh, with shipping.
Yeah, the shipping is actually almost the same price as the game.
Just for the game, and I was like, yeah.
I keep an eye on these,
is...
since you've really put my eye to a lot of these companies, I'm always on the lookout for them. So if I can get them in a less expensive way, but in this case, I don't mind supporting it. But just as a forewarning to my fellow Canadians.
Fair enough.
All right, the Games Played is going to be a little shorter this week because we want to give our attention to gameplay later, so you'll see why. So the game that I want to talk about is one that Suzanne actually initially taught me when I visited her in Seattle. I had it sitting there. I'm like, let's blow off the dust. I really want to play this because it's trick-taking. So Ghost of Christmas. And this is designed by Taiki Shinzawa. Art is by Misaho Sugawara and Maria Surdikan. It's published by BoardGameTables.com and Kentaiki. I apologize for any mispronunciations there. It's for 3 to 4 players, plays in about 40 minutes, and it's for ages 8 and up. I'm so sorry I didn't grab a price on this one, but I think I got it on Kickstarter, and it was probably around the $25 to $30 range Canadian. It could have been a little bit less for Americans. So as I said before, geez, wow, I'm so excited. I'm like, as I said, what is that? As I said previously, it's a trick-taking game, and you play it in 4 rounds instead of 3 tricks. This one took me a minute to wrap my head around because you're working with, and Suzanne will jump in because I know she's played this too. You're playing with like present, past, future. And that might not be the correct order, but I did say that right. Okay.
Past,
present, future.
Future.
Okay. Voila. My brain thinks in weird ways, but you know what I mean. Ghost of Christmas past, present, future. There it is. So
yeah, it's a little anticlimactic if you start with the Ghost of Future, right? You know, Scrooge is...
it's like you're doomed.
You're saved. Oh, now, you know, whatever. You're dead. Oh, okay.
So there are, I think, a couple ways that you can play it. We played it in the way where you have to determine how many tricks you think you're going to win. And they have these little window tiles with reeds. And I'll get to how that works, but you need to kind of decide what you're going to get. And then when you win the tricks, these reeds go on your little windows. So they have the colors of the suits. They have yellow, blue, green, and red. Is that correct? I think so.
I believe so.
Oh, look at that. My memory is not too shabby. And what you're going to do is you're going to take turns playing in any of the slots that are in front of you. The color red, from what I remember, is the trump color. So it's the one that's going to, you know, if you have to play the suit that's been played ahead of you. So for example, let's say I play in the past slot and I play a yellow card. That's a yellow 9. Then Suzanne goes, oh, well, I'm going to play in the past slot. Ideally, she needs to play with yellow if she can. Obviously, a higher number if possible. So you have to play if you have yellow. But if she doesn't, be like, I'll pull out that red card if I have one so I can beat it. If she doesn't have a red, then obviously you have to play off suit or a different color for those who are not familiar with the terminology. So we go around until we fill all of those slots. And then after the round is done, we kind of take a look and see who has won which. Now, before that even started, remember those little windows I told you about? The version that we played, I think we played this one, Suzanne. You had those little window tiles. There are green ones, and then there's a red one that you get. And ideally, what you want to try and do is guess the right amount of tricks. So, for example, if you think I'm going to win 3 tricks, then you'll have just put 3 windows out there beside that. So you're like, yeah, I'm just going to win 3. If you're not sure, then you might want to add that little red tile beside it to give you a little cushion. Because in that way, if you fill it or don't fill it, you're not going to lose points. If you're wrong, you're not getting any points. But if you have that little red one there, whether you fill it or not, you're good. Just don't go over that. Otherwise, you're getting nothing. That was one way that we played it. And now it gets a little tricky when you're determining who wins. This threw me because like the first slot, which is the, hold on, Christmas past. I'm sorry. You all do not know the struggle I am having trying to do past, present, future in my mind. Oh my gosh. So the person that wins past is now the determiner of the next slot, which is present. So you could have played a specific color, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what is going to be the suit. It's based on the person who won the first slot. That sounds confusing, but that's as best as I can explain that. But it goes along like that, and I think it plays over 4 rounds, and then whoever has the most points wins. Did I win this when we played it?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I doubt it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You capture all of these glorious moments of my losses.
Yeah,
So
I have to look up the time
I forgot to mention whoever wins that round gets a little, I call it my little Santa Frosty hat. It literally looks like Frosty the Snowman's little hat. And I like to do a little tip my hat to you when I get it. Yeah, so whoever's not watching the video, I'm literally tipping a mini hat, imaginary hat to you on screen. Yes, I know. Just saying.
Milady.
Milady. Otherwise, people are like, okay, Mandy, get on with it. Long story short, it's a little confusing at first to wrap your head around the rules, but once you get it, it's so much fun. I really enjoyed this. And I mean, I find just trying to guess the tricks, I'm actually not as terrible at that as I am, but I tend to bid low. One of my friends was like, right out of the block, nope, 6 tricks. I'm going to win 6. I got to tell you, he came very close, but I foiled his plans because of the way I played a card. He saw it and goes, nope, I can't win it. So he got no points because he didn't get the 6 he needed. I love trick taking, and I love when people take different looks or different ways of presenting trick taking. And I mean, I've always been a fan of the Christmas, present, past, future, like all that. I loved that when I was a kid, but I like that kind of supernatural feel to it. But for me, Ghost of Christmas was a lot of fun, and I highly recommend that you try it if you like trick taking.
Yeah, essentially you're playing 3 tricks at a time in a single hand, which is absolutely a unique thing, along with all the other unique things that kind of like the suit that maintains and that will win a given trick or something like that. That's all really good. And it's a beautiful production with a fun theme.
Yes.
And I really like what Board Game Tables. So this is Board Game Tables kind of is doing this thing where they have a couple of different box sizes. They have a longer rectangular box, and then they have these little square boxes. And literally every game in these little square boxes is at least good.
Yes.
If not great. So we've reviewed a number of them, just like you talked about Ghost of Christmas, then Dandelions or Mountain Goats, which is, like, to me, Mountain Goats is just a game everybody should have. It's that good.
So fun.
So yeah, I love Ghost of Christmas. It's definitely more complex. It's one of these games that they picked up from a designer in Japan and then kind of rethemed it and things like that. It definitely does some really cool stuff. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, Mandy.
I sure did.
Well, I have a game from Korea, not from Japan, and this one is called Nirvana. And hold your boots, Mandy, it is a roll and write game.
Oh, shocker, everybody.
Shocking. It's been too long since I have been able to talk about a roll and write game. So here we are with Nirvana. This is designed by Chikasuzu. And this was actually originally a different game. It was Roll Right Daifugo, and then Korea Board Games picked it up and has kind of repackaged it and updated it a little bit and re-released it. And I'm so glad they did, because Nirvana is, just like you were talking about trick taking.
Yeah.
The roll and write genre, there's just so much nuance that you can bring, and Nirvana does something I've never seen done before, and that's pretty exciting to me. So in Nirvana, you're going to have a sheet, and it has a blob of spaces in the center. And they're in little 3 color sections. So there's little orange sections, little green sections. The color's actually irrelevant. It's just so you can identify the 3 spots that are linked. And the color of them actually doesn't really matter. Then you've got 3 dice, and you are going to roll those 3 dice and assign the values to a single unit. Remember how I said they're in groups of 3? So you have 3 dice. So if I roll a 3-3-2 in one specific blob, anyone you want, you can write 3-3-2. And you can write those in any of the circles in that blob. So you could write 3-2-3, whatever works for you. Okay. So you're going to play through that. I forget how many specific rounds until the whole thing is filled. Well, what you'll notice is that all of these blobs they kind of fall into columns. And there's rectangles at the top and bottom of these columns. And that's because when you are done, the value of every column gets written into that rectangle. And you have just made a card, a virtual card. And then the second half of Nirvana is you play a quick virtual shedding game using the cards you made in the rolling and the writing and the filling. Right?
Oh.
So as you're looking at, there's a section on the side and you just transfer the values over, and then you have like this little grid of cards, and then you play this virtual shedding game, and you basically, a player will declare, 4 8s, And then the next player could say pass, or they could say 4 9s.
Okay.
Right? Like a shedding game where you have to play higher values of whatever started out the round. And then the first player to shed or finish all of their cards is the actual winner of the game.
Nice.
Absolutely cool concept. Absolutely unique in the genre. And that immediately makes it appealing to me. And again, the cards are, the values of the columns in that thing, which, so as you're going through the game, you're really looking carefully at the value of the cards that you're creating. Because in shedding games, sometimes having a larger number of cards in a lower value is better than having a lot of high value cards.
Right.
And because you're adding up and you're making your own, you can end up with really wild values. If you have 6, 6, 5, 4, 6 in a column, you've just created a massive, like 27 whatever value card. But if you only have one, it actually could be hard to get rid of if everybody else is playing pairs or triples or things like that. So it adds an element to how you value the die rolls in a different way that makes your brain work in a really fun way that I like a lot. I think the tracking of the virtual shedding, if you're familiar with that kind of gameplay, then it's much simpler. If you're not, I think that could be really hard. Like, you wouldn't want this necessarily to be somebody's first card shedding game because it's all the theater of the mind and a little hard, I think, for that way. And some of the people that I've played with, especially I have a close group of friends that we meet fairly regularly. It was kind of, some liked it more than others. I think they found some of the shedding rules. They really liked making all your own cards, but they found some of the shedding rules a little frustrating because you could have these really high value cards, but if somebody was continually playing threes or pairs of cards, they could never get them played. But that's a shedding game. I mean, that is how it works. So, I think your mileage is going to vary. For me, I really enjoy Nirvana. I think it does something unique in the genre. I think that the two halves of the game work well together in an interesting way. And it's pretty quick, depending on how analysis paralysis you get about the columns and the filling in of the die rolls, but it's pretty quick. I think Nirvana from Korea Board Games is a fascinating entry into the roll and write genre, and Korea Board Games is actually pretty easy to pick up. Like, they sell on Amazon and things like that. So if it's something that you are interested in trying, you should check it out, because it might be where sometimes games from Asia can be a little harder for people in North America to get. Nirvana should be a little easier for people to pick up. So that is Nirvana from Korea Board Games.
I have to get this game. Now, it sounds super cute and fun. I think I might get frustrated, but I think I'm going to like it. So I can play Nirvana while I'm playing Nirvana. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave that right where that is. I was like...
I mean, you don't even have jet lag as an excuse, Mandy. At least I have jet lag as an excuse.
Yeah, no, this is just me all day, every day.
All day, folks.
I was going to say I'm so sorry, but I'm not.
Just be yourself, hon. We love you for who you are.
Thank you.
One of the things, Mandy, I don't know about you, but it was really exciting to go to PAX and talk to different folks in the industry and inviting them to contribute a You're the Expert segment. And I'm really excited about it. It was great to see that people are excited to do it. So I think we're going to have a lot of great segments coming up in the future.
Right.
And today, I'm so happy that we have Sarah Reed talking to us about accessibility. For those of you who aren't familiar with Sarah Reed, she'll tell you a little bit about herself, but she is the designer of games like Oaxaca and Dreamscape. So game designer. She also has a content channel where she focuses with her partner Will on board games for two, and talks all about that because Will, I believe, is legally blind. And so accessibility is something very near and dear to the heart. So thank you so much, Sarah, for contributing. Let's take a listen.
Hey, my name is Sarah Reed. You may know me as Eurogamer Girl on social media. I'm also one half of the YouTube channel, Rolling with Two. My husband Will and I started Rolling with Two to share our perspective on the two-player experience and accessibility of board games. Accessibility is what I'll be focusing on today because Will is legally blind and colorblind. This makes finding games he can play and enjoy a challenge. But we've been gaming together for over 20 years, so I have some tips for those buying games to play with people who have vision disabilities. Research is key. Not only do you need to know what kinds of games your group will enjoy, you need an understanding of what the vision disabilities are of the person or people you'll be playing with. Then you need to take time in looking up games on the internet to see what will meet their needs as well as be enjoyable to them. Use the following tips when you look at pictures, watch how to play videos, and read the rules of potential games. The most common challenge most people will encounter is colorblindness. The problem is colorblindness comes in many forms. Issues with red and green is most common, but blue and yellow and a wide range of other variations exist. So the challenge here is a lot of games use color to identify information in games. But thankfully, more publishers have started double coding colors with icons. Finding games that have these extra layers will ease all issues of colorblindness regardless of which colors are the problem. Beyond colorblindness is the more severe vision disabilities, where a person's vision is deteriorated badly enough that they often can't see the whole picture, and they use assistive devices and their sense of touch to interact with the world. That's why components make a big difference in the ability of visually impaired gamers to play autonomously and reduce the need for others around the table to support them. Dual-layer player boards are a wondrous invention because someone like Will, who has more severe vision impairments, can learn the layout of the board by touch with the recessed areas and moving pieces along those tracks. Dice with recessed pips also allow a person to identify what number is rolled by touch. Components like cardboard bits and meeples are much more useful if they are distinct from one another. When a game doesn't come with uniquely shaped pieces, we often invest in upgraded components. Etsy is a great source for 3D printed components. Iconography that is simple, clear, and has high contrast with its background goes a long way for those who use assistive devices. There are also certain kinds of games that are inherently better or worse for those with severe vision disabilities. Here are a few we'll have found from our decades of playing games together. Generally, you'll want to get games that are primarily open information. That's because hidden information creates a disparity between sighted people who can glance at something for information and a visually disabled person who would have to rely on assistive devices to do the same thing. Cards or components that are kept secret also reduce the ability of others helping the visually disabled person. Co-op games are really great because everyone is supposed to be working together, so it's within the game's rules. Just avoid those with limited communication, since talking is the main way a severely visually disabled person gains information. Some game aspects to generally avoid are large maps, tile laying, route building, polyominoes, and overlapping cards. These are games where touching the pieces to see them would mess up their placement, and keeping track in a person's mind may be challenging if they don't have great spatial reasoning. Now, there are exceptions. Games with simple or small grids for maps or tiles can still work really well. A 3x3 grid can be explained using a number pad with space 1 in the upper left, all the way through 9 in the lower right. Lastly, expect a lot of trial and error, which can result in buying a game you think will work, finding out it doesn't, and reselling or trading it for something else. No two people have the same vision limitations, and the same person's challenges can change over time. Games Will could play 10 years ago are a lot more difficult now that his vision has degraded even more. I look forward to the day when these kinds of accessibility features are standard, because it will help everyone at the table now and in the future. Vision challenges may not be something most people have to deal with now, but we all age. So future you will be grateful for games with larger text, clear iconography, dual-layer boards, and uniquely shaped meeples. And for the present, it means you'll be able to play these games easily with anyone who has vision issues now. If you want to ask me any questions, the best way is to contact me on Twitter at EurogamerGirl. And if anyone wants to read the article that this is based on, check out the post Supporting Blind Gamers on colorblindgames.com. Happy gaming!
All right. Well, thank you to Sarah. And accessibility is one of those things I actually do a lot in my work. We're actually doing a lot of workshops now on working on accessibility in our presentations, even when we're having meetings, just saying, for someone who may not visibly be able to see who we are, I'm a woman with long hair, I'm wearing a gray sweater, or whatever the case may be. So we're trying to be more cognizant of that. Things like that in meetings. That's just one of many things that we're trying to do. I know I mentioned it earlier. I was going to talk about accessibility just a smidge at PAX. And overall, I have to say, like, aisles were big. You know, I had a really easy time getting around. The scooter that I was able to rent was available close to the hall. So those were sort of things that were really good. I do have to admit that they do give you a medical badge if you need one, but it wasn't 100% clear with everybody what it was for. So I did find there were times where I was kind of like standing and having to wait, which was a little painful for me. Suzanne was there to help me, which is great, but then she couldn't really come in to help me. I just found there was a bit of confusion, and I hope in future there are a few more like clearer stipulations or regulations on how people who require accommodations, that's handled. So overall, space-wise, I had no issues getting around in that sense, but then if things changed or there was a sudden lineup and whatnot, there wasn't clarity with everybody as to what is supposed to happen, especially if people said, hey, I have this badge, wasn't entirely clear. So this is just feedback and something that I have or will mention to the people running the show, and I'm sure they're a delight. They will take a look into that for us.
I appreciate you bringing that up. I have a friend who is a disability activist in the video game space, and she often talks about how COVID was an interesting time because it created a lot of new disabled people, created a lot of disability for folks who never thought that was going to happen to them. And it's opened a lot of eyes about the importance of accessibility and accommodations. And so I think that's really relevant. And I appreciate Sarah and I appreciate you, Mandy, for bringing that to the table.
And others. So this is not just mine, because mine is temporary, right? But there are people who live with us every day, and they were able to share some of their experiences, and we had a very similar experience at the convention. So thank you to all those people that shared their time with me.
All right, Mandy, it's that time. We're going to serve up a game pie.
Yay.
Full of exciting things we saw at PAX Unplugged. How timely and perfect. Da, 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 da.
Indeed.
There's so much stuff at PAX Unplugged. It was a huge convention and just a lot of exciting things. And just as I said at the top of the show, hey, we're going to talk about a few things that we saw. Tell us what you saw that was exciting.
Yeah.
Or even if you didn't go, tell us about something that you saw online that people were talking about that maybe we didn't catch, because Lord knows I need more games. I need more game news. I need more games. We can joke about how many, but I love board games. I just love them. I can't get enough. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to add too.
Yeah, so my first one, I know we're saying games that we were interested in, but this was a bit of a cheat because I did play it. So Mind Clash was, kind enough to give me a review copy of the game Astra. So this is something that Suzanne hopefully will get as well. We'll be able to do a little playthrough online. But it's a little meaner than I thought, but not terrible. So in this game, it has remember the astrology cards that I was telling you about? It's one of those games where you get markers and you can write on the actual cards, and you're trying to complete the constellation, because when you complete the constellation, you get the cards, and the cards have abilities and there are points on them. But other people can actually also mark on the card, and if they don't take the card, there are still things they can win on the bottom of the card. And obviously the point of the game is to collect points, but having cards are very useful because they give you abilities throughout the game. It's not supposed to be a long game, but I did find it ran a bit longer, but I didn't mind. So Astra for me is one I'm looking forward to playing again.
I would love to check it out because that sounds awesome and interesting from a company like Mind Clash, where I'm used to these massive miniature projects and these heavy, deep games. And here's one that sounds a little lighter and something cool.
Bringing some new people, yeah.
All right, first up for me, my first slice, Dogfight. Rule the skies in 20 minutes. So this is from PSC Games, or Plastic Soldier Company Games. And Dogfight caught my eye as I was walking around. I'll be honest, I have never heard of this game before I saw it at PAX Unplugged. But I was walking by the PSC booth, and there's a stack of games with Dogfight right next to Blitzkrieg and Caesar, which are the other two games in this series. I've reviewed Blitzkrieg. I don't know if I've reviewed Caesar, but these are 2-player-only games that are designed to give you a really meaty experience in a very quick time frame. So that's where the in 20 minutes thing comes from. And now we have Dogfight. Now this is designed by Carlo Rossi, and I think Paolo Mori was more involved in the previous designs, but this one's by Carlo Rossi. And it's a 2-player game in which you have cards And you are using those to manipulate your biplane around this board to conquer and battle your opponent. So cool. I was pretty much in as soon as I saw it because I love this series in general. And now, Mandy, I know that 2-player only games are a little tougher for you.
Yeah, to get to the table, for sure.
Yeah. But this one I was really excited for. And it's funny, I bought it. I was just like, oh, I got it. Yoink. I didn't really know much about it. And I actually opened it last night.
Okay.
And I realized that you actually there's like the basic one is like the red plane and the blue plane, and they have its own set of cards. There's like 8 other planes in the game that you can switch and swap out, and they all have different abilities and things like that. So that implies there's a ton of variability in the game too, because maybe I'll play red versus blue, maybe I'll play green versus brown, or purple versus gray, whatever. So there was a lot more content in the game than I first saw when I was just walking by the table. So I'm excited about that as well. Dogfight, rule the skies in 20 minutes. That's my first slice of PAX Unplugged pie.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to have to check that out. I think I missed that one. Shucks darn.
Well, I think I asked them, because I was trying not to spend that much money. And I was like, and they're like, oh no, we flew in 100 copies.
Yep.
And it's not going to hit until like spring of next year. So
yeah,
they did a good job, man. They saw right into my soul. They're like, if we tell her she can't get it anytime soon, she'll buy it right away.
You must get it.
Right. They were right.
Well, Suzanne directed me to some more delicious pie games that I might want. Not pie themed, but for this pie. And I was like, where is this table of games from Asia that I must see? And well, of course, I found my way there and spent money. The next piece of pie on my list is called, and I want to say this right, Roulette Taking Game. It took me a minute because I was like, wait a second, roulette taking game? What's that about? So guess what, everybody? Surprise! It's a trick-taking game, kind of, sort of, but roulette? So there's some trick-taking. I think there's some betting and bluffing, which is not really my jam, but the whole roulette concept was appealing to me.
Absolutely.
So I don't know much about it because they didn't have it open there, but I saw the box, which is just, simple, kind of grayish white with some red on it that's showing a roulette table and, the letters in cursive of the game. That's it. So I didn't know too much about it. But the fact that it has a trick-taking element, but possibly using things from roulette, I'm here for it. Now, Suzanne, I think you also got this. I don't know if you got to see a little bit more of it than I did, but I just bought it on the spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did buy it. I actually didn't buy it at PAX Unplugged. I actually had a friend help me import it from Japan because it was at Game Market, and I saw it, and just conceptually, I had to have it. So yeah, anyway. But no, I'm really, really excited to play it. Just like you said, it incorporates kind of this betting thing that's reminiscent of a roulette wheel. It doesn't have a roulette wheel, obviously.
No.
And a trick-taking game. And I have to say 2 things. One, in general, if you enjoy trick-taking games, you really, really need to be paying attention to the games coming out of Japan. For whatever reason, there is a fairly sizable community of designers in Japan that are creating just wild takes on trick-taking and really being creative and doing different things with the games. For example, Blend Coffee Lab from Sashi just does something different, right? And here we have roulette trick-taking. So if you like trick-taking games, make an effort to see what's coming out of Japan because they are doing fantastic, fascinating work there. The second thing I wanted to mention is sometimes these games can be hard to get, and the booth that Mandy was trying to find is Big Cat Games, and this is run by a woman named Ayako. She is a lovely, lovely person, and she is making a big effort to help find little treasure from Japan and making it available for us in the U.S. These are very limited print runs. A lot of times these are very limited print runs. But here's Ayako doing the work to try to get some over to the U.S., helping create, translate, and produce English rules so that we can play them over here. And she does have a website online where you can order some of the games that she has stock of. She might even have roulette trick-taking left. Yeah. So check that out. That's bigcatgames.biz, I think.
Yes. And they were beside another booth. I know it's not with this game, but Ninja Star. And Ninja Star holds a special place for me because one of our early games when we were To Die For games that we reviewed was from Ninja Star Games. So, and again, when we go to those tables, they're always so friendly, pleasant. I mean, anybody who's excited to see me, I want to spend my money even more. So always a pleasure and delight to see them.
Well, speaking of which, the next game on my list here is only one collection.
Wait. That was so good. Okay, continue.
Andy, if you stop to acknowledge the segue, it's not a good segue.
Don't say anything. Pretend it never happened.
Only one collection is published by Ninja Star Games. And so happy that they had it. I'm really excited. It was selling really well, Tara, so I'm very, very happy for them. This is a card game in which you are just trying to do some set collection, but there's some twists in terms of wanting to be in the lead, but wanting the person to your right to have the second most amount. It's got great illustration, and it just looks like it's got some nice twists to the gameplay in a fairly straightforward card game. So I was really excited to pick that one up and give that a try So it's only one collection from Ninja Star Games, Mandy.
I got that one too.
Of course you did.
I did. Okay. Next
We are very bad influences on each other.
Oh, yeah, seriously. I was like, I'm not going to spend any money. I spent all the monies. I was lucky, though, that one game that was on my Essen list that I think took some people by surprise, except for Eric Summerer, who sends me a message. I have this game that you're talking about. And I'm like, I'm sorry, who is this? Because I switched phones, so I didn't have the number. Come to find out, oh, it's me, it's Eric. And Eric's like, Mandy, I have Fantasy Ranch. So Fantasy Ranch was a game I didn't know. I think it came out in 2018 or 2019 in North America. But they were showing it off at Essen as like I don't know if they're re-promoting it or it was just new to Europe. I'm not sure. But I was like, what? Do you have it? Yeah, let's play it. And we did get a chance to play it at PAX. And it's a type of game, you have horses. You're trying to collect as many of the, prize horses as you can, but you have to be able to hold them on your ranch. And then they have shows that they attend and you're trying to win those shows. And this is where you use some dice rolls based on the horse you have. We'll give you a certain amount of dice that you can roll and beat out your opponents. Now, we've just played the basic one, so this one's a bit of a cheat, but we only played the level 1. I want to try the version 2 and 3 because they add different kind of elements like drafting and things like that, which would make it a bit more interesting. So thank you, Eric, for that. And Eric was kind enough to give it to me, so that was very sweet. And I'm looking forward to trying the other versions. And the ranches in the game are real. We looked them up. Please note, do not just put Fantasy Ranch in Google. Please add BGG or something board game related afterward. Trust me on this. Yeah, we kind of did that and yeah. So Fantasy Ranch. Looking forward to trying a bit more of that one.
Safe search settings, baby.
Please remember that.
All right, my next slice of pie is Bargain Basement Bathysphere.
Wait, how did you say it?
Bargain Basement Bathysphere.
Okay, that's better. I like that. Bathysphere.
Bathysphere. I had no idea what this game was until I saw Mandy and our friend Eric from What's Eric Playing rolling around, and they each had a copy of this game. And I saw Roland right on the box, so of course it catches my attention. I was like, what? And solo only. What? So running back to WizKids game booth to try to get a copy because, hello.
You need it.
Could there be a game more made for me? This is thematically you're taking this bathysphere and you're diving for treasure and you have to make it back up. It is a solo-only roll and write in which you are trying to go through 20 different adventures. There are 3 different dry erase boards that are included that it's a pretty long, tall, wide box, but then it double folds open. So you get this big, long dry erase board, and then there's sheets that you're going to be using as well. And going through different adventures. You've got a little pond that you're going to be, your little bathysphere that you're going to be diving through the path. And as you cross over some spaces or as you land on certain spaces based on your die rolls, you're going to spend oxygen. You're going to have pieces of your bathysphere explode, and you all want to dive way down, accomplish your mission, and get all the way back without, imploding or running out of air, those kinds of things. I opened it up. I went through it last night because I'm so excited to check this out. It looks like so much fun, and I was really excited, Mandy, that you and Eric made sure that I saw and got a copy of that because Bargain Basement Bathysphere
I'm excited. It's solo, but it looks fun. I want to try it. So it looks very cute. Love the title. Okay, well, my last slice of pie. Well, of course, I have to end with something with a story. So thanks to Robert at Arcane Wonders for providing this copy to me to take a look at. And it's called Mortem Medieval Detective. So I don't think it's like a new game. I think it came out last year. But it is a kind of deduction adventure type game. So I believe there is some storytelling in the game as well. And it comes with like 3 packs in it, I think. So you probably have like different scenarios that you can go through. I don't know too much about it other than that. It has like a dark box. So I'm hoping dark theme ensues. But Sue's got it as well. So I'm hoping that we can play it together or at least talk about it together on the podcast because I'm here for this. I'm really on this like storytelling kick and I'm loving it.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
For me, Mortem, a medieval detective, very excited to try this one.
Awesome. All right, wrapping up our game pie full of games that we saw at PAX Unplugged. Make the difference. So one of my favorite publishers, of course, is Oink Games. I talk about them a lot, and I kind of obsessively collect them. And so, of course, there are 2 new ones at the Oink booth that I did not already own. And in fact, Make the Difference wasn't there on day 1. Their shipment got delayed. And
I didn't know that.
Thankfully, Toby over there was really nice to say, come back tomorrow. We're expecting a shipment then. So I ran back to the booth and they got it. Woohoo! Make the Difference is a game in which it's spot the difference, where you have 2 illustrations next to each other and there's little subtle things that are different about them and you got to figure out where they all are. Make the Difference does that as a game in that you get these sheets with drawings and you get a pen and you literally mark the differences yourself on the sheet for your opponents to find and discover.
Nice.
And when you look at it, you'll have a dragon and there are dragon scales on it, right? Well, yeah, just one more dragon scale. Will they notice? I don't know. So the way that the illustrations, they look very clever to facilitate the kind of activity that we're talking about where you can add things and it's not going to be immediately obvious what you've done.
Right.
So it just sounds incredibly fun to me and absolutely unique. Never seen this done in a published board game before. So Make the Difference from Oink Games. It was a must buy, and I'm so excited to play it.
Oh, I missed that one. Dang it, Suzanne. All right, I'll have to wait till it comes to Bliss. So, okay. It sounds really fun. Anyway.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Oops. So there you have it. That is our game pie full of games that we saw at PAX Unplugged. I know that when podcasters or video reviewers or whatnot talk about going to conventions, there can be this FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. And sometimes it kind of can feel really good to hear about it. And sometimes it can feel a little like, oh, I wish I could go there and I can't. And that really, really stinks. And I get that. And I would just say to folks, 1, PAX Unplugged was a very safe convention overall from a COVID point of view. It was vaccines and masks required, and I thought that worked really well for us.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget that there are tons of local conventions as well. So if you can't travel or if it's too big or it's poorly timed, don't forget to go on Board Game Geek or search the web for local game conventions near you because they are popping up everywhere and they can be incredibly rewarding. They'll have game libraries or you can bring games that you've been wanting to play and meet new people. I have a couple of different game groups that literally formed purely because I met new friends at local game conventions, right? Mandy, you and I are obviously friends, but we can't play together every week, right? But I go to a local game convention and then I meet board gamers that I find I have rapport with and then we meet again. We set up a meet, like let's meet at Starbucks and play. It's been wonderful. So don't forget that not every convention experience has to be these huge, massive things that you travel to. There's lots of options locally and I encourage you to give that a try. So cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we'll call that an episode, Mandy.
Yes, absolutely. Now's
anything you want to toss in before we wrap?
No, that's it. I'm just going to give everyone all the details. I don't know if you want to start. Do you want me to do it?
Sure. I just want to, as always, say thank you to everybody who joined us for episode 7. Thank you so much for your patience. We know it was a little bit late, and apologies for that. Hopefully you understand. Y'all are so awesome.
Yeah,
I
so
suspect you understand. As always, it is a pleasure and privilege to be part of your extended family, and sharing these experiences is part of that. Now, if you have any questions that you don't want to post in the guild or post to social media, you can always contact us on email. We are saltandsassgames@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on social media and chat us up there too.
Yes, so you can find us on the Twitter at saltandsassgames. So not and, it's an N, saltandsassgames. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at 613Mandy, and that's Mandy with an I.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter as 425 Suzanne with a Z. I don't have a cute saying. Darn it.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it. And also don't forget the BGG, Forum Guild. We've set that up. So please go there. And the link is in the description. I'll also flash it on the screen as well. So pop in there.
We'll have it in the show notes. Yep.
Absolutely. So pop in there if you have just check it out. Something to say, whatever. We're happy to have you there.
We'll be back in 2 weeks on time with episode 8. But until then, I hope that you get to play lots of games, stay hydrated, and have a lot of fun. Until then, bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. If you'd like to support the podcast, please check us out on coffee.com/Salt and Sass Games. Thank you for your support. Salt and Sass is produced with love by Suzanne and Mandi, and we'll be back next episode with more salt, more sass, and more games.